The United Kingdom, once a bastion of political stability, finds itself in uncharted waters. The rapid-fire succession of prime ministers has sent shockwaves through the nation. Is the UK, once a global leader, now a nation adrift? Political instability impacts the UK's relationship with the European Union. The world watches as the UK grapples with these challenges. The sudden resignation of a prime minister has become almost routine. This political drama has left many citizens feeling disillusioned. International allies and rivals observe the unfolding situation. The aftershocks of Brexit continue to divide the nation. Economic headwinds have left many feeling financially insecure. A growing sense of disconnect has eroded trust in the system. The UK's ability to navigate these times will have profound consequences. The world is watching to see if this once great power can reclaim its place on the global stage. To fully grasp the UK's current predicament, it's crucial to retrace the steps that led to this point. Since 2019, the nation has witnessed an unprecedented turnover of prime ministers. It began with Theresa May's resignation in 2019. May struggled with Brexit negotiations, leading to her downfall. Boris Johnson promised to get Brexit done, but faced scandals and controversies. His tenure ended with cabinet resignations, forcing him to step down in 2022. Liz Truss promised bold economic reforms, but faced economic turmoil. After 6 weeks, Truss resigned, becoming the shortest-serving prime minister. Rishi Sunak took over, inheriting an economy on the brink of recession. Whether Sunak can provide the leadership the UK needs remains to be seen. The spectre of Brexit looms large over the UK's current political and economic turmoil. Far from being done, as Boris Johnson once proclaimed, Brexit continues to be a source of division and uncertainty, casting a long shadow over the UK's relationship with the European Union. The economic implications have been significant, with trade disruptions, supply chain issues, and a decline in foreign investment all taking their toll. The Northern Ireland Protocol, a key part of the Brexit deal designed to avoid a hard border on the island of Ireland, has become a particular point of contention. The protocol, which effectively keeps Northern Ireland in the EU's single market for goods, has been criticised by unionists in Northern Ireland, who argue that it undermines their place in the UK. The political fallout from Brexit has been equally damaging, exacerbating existing divisions within British society and fueling a sense of disillusionment with the political process. The debate over Brexit, often characterised by heated rhetoric and misinformation, has deepened societal rifts and eroded trust in traditional institutions. The UK's relationship with the EU, once its closest ally and trading partner, has been strained by the often acrimonious Brexit negotiations and the ongoing disputes over the Northern Ireland Protocol. The lack of trust and goodwill between the two sides makes it difficult to address the challenges they face together, such as climate change, security threats, and economic instability. As the UK grapples with the fallout from Brexit, it remains to be seen whether a new equilibrium can be found in its relationship with the EU. A more pragmatic and cooperative approach is needed from both sides to address the ongoing challenges and build a more stable and prosperous future. A faltering alliance? NATO and the special relationship tested. The UK's political instability has not gone unnoticed on the international stage, raising concerns among its allies and emboldening its adversaries. The special relationship with the United States, once a cornerstone of British foreign policy, has been tested by diverging priorities and a perceived lack of leadership from London. Within NATO, the UK's commitment to the alliance and its ability to project military power have been called into question. The war in Ukraine has further highlighted the importance of transatlantic unity and the need for a strong and reliable UK as a key NATO member. However, the rapid turnover of prime ministers and the often contradictory statements on foreign policy have raised doubts about the UK's ability to provide the consistent leadership expected of a major power. Concerns over the UK's defence spending and its commitment to NATO's 2% of GDP target have also surfaced in recent years. While the UK remains one of the few NATO members to meet this target, the economic uncertainty caused by Brexit and the COVID-19 pandemic has put pressure on the defence budget. The UK's ability to maintain its global influence and its credibility as a reliable partner depends on its ability to address these challenges. A clear and consistent foreign policy, backed by a strong economy and a commitment to international cooperation, is essential for the UK to regain its footing on the world stage and reassure its allies. The deep roots of discontent, economic anxieties and social divides. To understand the current political turmoil in the UK, one must look beyond the immediate triggers and delve into the deeper roots of discontent that have been festering for years. Economic anxieties, fueled by stagnant wages, rising living costs, and a growing sense of inequality, have created a fertile ground for political instability. Social divisions, exacerbated by issues like immigration, identity politics, and the legacy of austerity, have further polarized society, making it difficult to find common ground. The UK's economy, while showing some signs of recovery after the pandemic, remains fragile. Years of austerity measures have taken their toll on public services, while wages have failed to keep pace with inflation, leaving many families struggling to make ends meet. The rising cost of living, particularly for essentials like energy and housing, has added to the financial strain, fueling a sense of resentment and insecurity. Social divisions, often exploited by populist politicians, have widened the gulf between different groups within British society. The debate over immigration, for example, has become increasingly toxic, with some politicians using divisive rhetoric to score political points. The issue of Scottish independence, while dormant for now, remains a potential flashpoint that could further destabilise the UK. Addressing these underlying issues is essential if the UK is to break the cycle of political instability and restore trust in its institutions. This requires a long-term vision that goes beyond short-term political expediency and focuses on creating a fairer, more inclusive, and more prosperous society for all. From trust to turmoil, the erosion of public confidence. One of the most concerning aspects of the UK's current predicament is the erosion of public trust in its political institutions. Years of scandals, broken promises, and a perceived disconnect between the political class and the concerns of ordinary people have taken their toll. This loss of trust is not only a symptom of the UK's political malaise, but also a major obstacle to addressing the challenges it faces. The public's faith in politicians and the political process has been shaken by a series of high-profile scandals, from the expenses scandal that rocked Westminster in 2009 to the more recent allegations of lockdown parties during the pandemic. These incidents have fueled a perception that politicians are more interested in serving themselves than the people they represent. The failure of successive governments to deliver on their promises, particularly on issues like the economy, immigration, and public services, has further eroded public confidence. The feeling that politicians are out of touch with the concerns of ordinary people has created a sense of cynicism and disillusionment, making it difficult to engage people in the political process. This erosion of trust is a serious threat to the UK's democracy. Without the trust and confidence of the people, it becomes difficult to build consensus, make tough decisions, and govern effectively. Restoring trust requires a fundamental shift in the way politics is conducted, with a greater emphasis on transparency, accountability, and genuine engagement with the concerns of the public. Can the centre hold? The battle for the soul of British politics. The UK finds itself at a crossroads, facing a battle for the very soul of its politics. The traditional two-party system, which has dominated British politics for decades, is under strain, challenged by the rise of new political forces and the fragmentation of the electorate. The centre ground, once a place of relative stability and consensus, has become a battleground for competing ideologies and visions for the future of the country. The Labour Party, once the natural party of government for working-class voters, has struggled to regain its footing after a series of electoral defeats. The Conservative Party, long the party of business and the establishment, has been riven by internal divisions over Brexit and the direction of the country. This fragmentation of the political landscape has created a vacuum that has been filled by populist movements on both the left and the right. These movements, often fueled by anger, resentment, and a rejection of the status quo, have tapped into the anxieties and frustrations of many voters who feel left behind by globalization and social change. The challenge for the UK is to find a way to bridge these divisions and forge a new consensus around a shared vision for the future. This requires a willingness to listen to the concerns of all parts of society, to engage in constructive dialogue, and to find common ground where possible. Failure to do so risks further polarization, instability, and a drift towards the extremes. The UK is at a crossroads. The choices it makes now will shape its future for generations to come. The world is watching, and the stakes are high. Like and subscribe for more in-depth analysis on global events and their impact. Share your thoughts in the comments below. How do you think the UK's political instability will affect its relationship with the EU, NATO, and the US? What steps should the UK take to regain stability and international trust?